Okay, my friends, tons of information about Mars now. Is there any life on Mars? All of this has been going on for the last 5.5 years. Look at this. Over the past 5.5 years, NASA Security rover has been mapping, imaging the Martian surface. Is there life there or not? Guess what? So has Roger. Okay, this goes a long time ago. This is from NASA. You see down here the picture from NASA. And this is the Mars crab. And what is the Mars crab? It's right down here, blown up, it's here. That is an artery, that's a vein. An artery pushes blood into the surrounding tissues, which these are layers of tissue, and these breaks are called the sarcomeres. And I'll show you that in a second. This pumps blood into that tissue to make that muscle work. At one time, this was a gigantic creature, it was alive, and all of this blood now is the plasma and so forth is running out into dust because there's no real moisture to flow off into mud. You see this? This is a striated muscle, and then you have all the red gooey stuff that supports it. And then over here you have the sarcomeres, and these are what they look like. Those are those little bundles of fiber. And in between them they break. They wash right out. These are what they call the Mars blueberries. That is the basement layer of skin just below the fleshy movement layer, which is called interstitium now. It's a brand new term. Well, I don't know if it's a brand new term, but they find it, they consider it an organ system now. And I literally discovered this in the mud fossils. They all have these, they call them concretions. They're not concretions, they are anchors. Now, they just announced it as a system because they never realized all these pockets were here and how exactly these anchors worked. They just thought it was a thin film mat because by the time they got them into the autopsies, and they say that, you look up interstitium, a newfound organ, you'll see. And they'll say they never knew it was here before because by the time they got it, it was flat as a pancake. There was no moisture in here. Well, I see them in these configurations just like they were alive. And I got a hold of Gil Hadley, who's an anatomist, the only one I could find in the world doing research on this type of stuff, which is called fascia. Fascia surrounds all your organs, it surrounds all your membranes and tendons and muscle fibers. Fascia is a coating that separates everything from everything else. It's like the layers of coating painted on everything in you to keep everything that way and everything else that way. Now, these are the balls, these are the straps. When it stretches this way, the straps stretch. When they come back, the balls stay. So this gets flatter and pulled out, or it comes back. Let's see if we can see that on Mars, which we can. That is literally skin. Now, this is another Mars picture from NASA. This is the skin sort of pinched together, stretched. You see the strap? These straps were stretched. Now, these are sandblasted away. The higher the bump, the quicker the sandblasting. Now, apparently, whoops. You see how finely this is like your skin has a lot of sand in it, a lot of silicon. It's a very tough compared to the other parts of your fleshy stuff. And the balls are tough as hell, and they're all over the Earth, everywhere. I've shown them; they are everywhere, and they're called. Well, here, let me show you a couple of places. But you can see how they stretch, and when this comes back, the whole thing would become equally matted instead of pinched and separated. And they call that the Mars Morse code. And it's gigantic. I don't know how big it is, but the Earth is covered with enormous creatures, and so is Mars. And as far as I can determine, Comet 67P, 100%, no question whatsoever. It's a tendinenthesis, and it's spewing out biological organic particles. They know this. I reported on this 5-6 years ago, whenever that happened too. It was a Rosetta mission. Philae lander landed right on it. Sampled I have the spectral analysis of it. Hold on a second. All right, these are the spectral analysis of it. It's hydrocarbons, which is blood materials, and ferrous oxides, which is also in the blood, metals and sodium and salt and silicon and all that business. It's just it's life. And they say there's no question about it. And the astronauts say when they get out of their space suits, they smell like steak after they go off for a spacewalk. And the reason or metals, burning metals. And that's exactly what it would smell like, because in space, the spewing out of all of the combustive looking things out of Comet 67P, those are combustive things, but they're not burnt because there's not enough oxygen to make them flame. So they give off these metallized gases, exactly like welding gases, exactly what the astronauts say. I'd like to also have somebody get a hold of me about the light research we've done. We've accelerated light. We've seen it as an actual particle. We've actually split the particle into what they would call muon and electron neutrino. This is the actual photons back to back, what I would consider electrons. You can obviously see the light accelerating. It started like this from a pulsed red laser. The particle is way back in the wave, and it presents a magnetic field in front of it. That is what creates the impact of the wave. The actual particle itself literally separates right here. The black ball rolls away from the white explodes. I believe this region right here is raw energy. We can collect thousands of times additional, I don't know, it looks like free energy to me. Now, I'd love to talk to somebody about some of these things that we're doing at my little research facility here. It's Roger at mudfossils with an S.com. Thank you. I love you all.